What the hell is the Atom Economic Zone? Is it just a meme, or is it a narrative shift for the Cosmos Hub and for Atom as an asset? The Cosmos Hub has always been doomed as a boring chain that doesn't have strong positioning with a growing IBC economy, and Atom, which has always been this asset without utility that doesn't represent Cosmos, which is true. That's totally true, right? And I've kept saying this in my videos. If you hold Atom only and you want to invest in Cosmos, that's not enough, right? You need to be exposed to other assets in Cosmos, but this narrative is now potentially going to shift. What is the Atom Economic Zone? Well, I think for that we need to go back a little bit in history of the Cosmos Hub. The Cosmos Hub is actually the very first Cosmos chain that went live in March of 2019. It just celebrated its 4th birthday, so it's quite a long time around in crypto years. It never had a clear positioning with the growth of IBC, the growth of the app chain theory, right? And I think that has always been very intentional to not enforce dependencies on the Cosmos Hub, which would obviously be great for value accrual for Atom, but I think it would potentially slow down the growth of IBC adoption. That said, September 2022, Medellin, Colombia, the proposal of Atom 2.0, this new grand vision to revive the Cosmos Hub, to put it back into its place as the flagship chain in Cosmos, a chain that's at the center of the ecosystem without enforcing dependencies again, but to provide interchain services such as the interchain allocator, the interchain scheduler, but also to revise and completely revamp Atom tokenomics to fill up the community pool with a big mint of atoms, and also to focus heavily on liquid staking. That was the big Atom 2.0 proposal, and it got rejected. Why did it get rejected? Well, it got rejected because the scope was just too broad, right? I think a lot of people were super aligned on core things such as shared security, which we already have right now, by the way, live on the Cosmos Hub, voted by on-chain governance. But I think people were just scared that the changes were too big and could eventually destroy the Cosmos Hub, right? There was also politics obviously involved that caused drama. The debates got really hefty back then. But anyways, the proposal failed. But what then happened is the conversations started. The conversations about how do we make shared security on the Cosmos Hub competitive? How do we ship it fast? How do we accrue more value to Atom? How does Atom maintain its position as money in Cosmos? What other interchain services can the Cosmos Hub offer? And how do we deal with liquid staking, right? So all these conversations led to multiple independent teams to work on these ideas separately. We have, for example, Simply Staking, that immediately after Atom 2.0 got rejected, made an on-chain proposal to increase the community tax rate from 2 to 10%, which would immediately mean that the community pool 5x's their revenue. So those little proposals have already been executed independently by the community right away. And when I talk about community, I also mean all the validators, all these software development teams, and also individuals, right, that were just contributing in some way, shape, or form. Now, what is the Atom Economic Zone then? The Atom Economic Zone is basically Atom 2.0 on steroids. It's a new era, the evolution for the Cosmos Hub. And what are the pillars for the Atom Economic Zone? The first one is obviously interchain security, the shared security concept that got implemented on the Cosmos Hub. And I believe personally that this is the killer application for the Cosmos Hub. I know a lot of people are already saying like, this is not scalable, this isn't competitive long term. I totally get that. But I think right now, this is not a discussion to have. Right now, the discussion to have is who takes interchain security to the market. And we already have 3 baller chains lined up to use interchain security from the Cosmos Hub. The first chain is Neutron. Neutron is a Cosmos smart contract platform that is optimized for DeFi, that brings a lot of innovation to the table. And Neutron is basically also built by the same team that built Lido on Ethereum and now on many other chains. But Lido is obviously a multi-billion-dollar crypto project, and the same team is now building Neutron, which is the P2P validator team. Also, what they will be doing is they will launch with a lot of DeFi applications from the get-go, right? So Astroport is already confirmed. Also, there will be deep liquidity in combination with Stride's liquid staking tokens on day one on Astroport or Neutron, and also many other applications with the potential that Lido itself might come to Neutron towards the end of the year. The second one is Stride, which is an app chain for liquid staking, and they are currently market leaders in Cosmos. So their $200 million blockchain network has almost $30 million of liquid staked assets on their network, and I think around 20% of which are already being used in DeFi across various DeFi applications in Cosmos, such as UMI, for example, or Mars Protocol, right? That's super important. And another thing that is coming after that is going to be Noble. And Noble is the native asset issuance chain of Cosmos, with USDC being the killer application and the first asset. And then also, if we keep in mind that big chains such as DYDX are coming to Cosmos later this year, potentially going to make heavy use of Noble's USDC, for example, that means that there's also market demand and product market fit for Noble's USDC and for other applications, also Stride's liquid staking tokens, across the Cosmos ecosystem. The service that the Cosmos Hub provides here is increased security. The security on the Cosmos Hub right now is $3 billion US, which in Stride's case is an increase by a factor of over 100x. So that's a big change, and it just means that they can operate with a higher standard and higher level of security. I expect that we'll see more and more chains coming and applying or trying to become consumer chains or partner chains throughout the year. The second thing is liquid staking itself, right? And I think we've already seen the growth and rapid adoption for liquid staking across various protocols, Stride being the main one, but then there's also Quicksilver, there's P-Stake, there's Stuffy, there's now Lido coming up. But one killer feature that is still coming to the Cosmos Hub is going to be the liquid staking module. What does that module allow? The module allows you to liquefy your already staked assets with one click, and you get a representation that you can then use in DeFi, right? So the pain point right now is that if you want to liquid stake your Atom, you basically have to either unbond your staked Atom or bring fresh Atom to Stride, Lido, Stuffy, Quicksilver, or P-Stake, and then you have to stride through these protocols. What the liquid staking module will allow is to immediately, without unbonding, liquefy your staked assets and use them in DeFi like that, which will inherently increase even more the security for the Cosmos Hub, which then increases the need also for Atom's market cap to rise, right? Because the higher the market cap, the higher the security. This is the flywheel and the correlation between liquid staking, shared security, and interchange services that the Cosmos Hub provides. Then we also have a very important entity that also came out as a result of the failure of Atom 2.0, which is the Atom Accelerator DAO. They were granted, I think, between $7 or $8 million US. They are a team of 7 people now, or 8, I think. And what they're doing is basically giving out grants to people that want to contribute to the Cosmos Hub, whether that's projects that want to build a consumer chain, whether that's people that want to do research, or any sort of technical improvement to the Cosmos Hub specifically. That's something that never existed before. And I think such a decentralized grants program is extremely valuable long term. So I think the Atom Accelerator DAO is also going to play a big role this year, bootstrap the Atom economic zone. Speaking of which, other element for Atom to become this economic zone in Cosmos and all over crypto eventually is a tokenomics revamp, basically, right? So we already started Atom 2.0. I think people got scared of the extra mint and also that inflation would drop to 0, which I think people in generally are all for it, but there needs to be an alternative source of revenue that still acts as a security budget. There needs to go a lot more research into it, and that in combination with the Atom Accelerator DAO and a lot of smart people that we have in Cosmos is a very, very positive thing. Now, finally, the flywheel for the atom economic zone is currently in the very, very early stages of being built out. But I personally see how all these puzzle pieces are coming together now, right? So we have Atom, the Cosmos Hub at the center that provides interchain services, starting with interchain security or shared security. Then we have chains like Neutron, Stride, and Noble that make use of that onboard massive user bases onto the Cosmos Hub basically, and with it TVL, volume, liquidity, transactions, and all these kind of things. Then we do have an increased amount of users and DeFi activities. A result of that, we have deeper liquidity with the liquid staking module I explained earlier that allows you to immediately liquefy your staked assets, which means more fees are paid to the hub, market cap goes up, economic security goes up, the demand for onboarding partner chains or consumer chains goes up, right? So that's the flywheel for the Atom economic zone. And that in combination with a revamp of the tokenomics, potentially probably a killer application and killer positioning for the Cosmos Hub, not just within Cosmos, but also outside of Cosmos, right? Personally, I don't think it's a good time to sell Atom right now. I think it's a good time to stake Atom and to accumulate Atom. Obviously, no financial advice. You're old, mature, and experienced enough, I hope, to never go all in on any cryptocurrency that anyone on the internet talks about. But I think in general, Atom is in a very strong position right now, stronger than it has ever been. And yeah, it's evolving into this interchain service provider with Atom as an economic zone that accrues value finally has a clear use case and also onboards DeFi activities. I hope you are excited as I am, as you can tell. Do your homework on Cosmos, especially Atom, the Cosmos Hub, the flagship chain in Cosmos. I hope you learned something. And if you want to learn more, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Cryptocito. I'll see you guys in the next one. And hopefully I'll also see you later this year at Cosmoverse in Istanbul. Stay safe and be good, my friends.